Say aye. Do solemnly affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as a member of the House of Representatives, I perform my functions honestly, to the best of my ability, faithfully, in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law and the rules of the House of Representatives, and always in the interest of the sovereignty, integrity, solidarity, well-being and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that I will strive to preserve the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy, contained in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will abide by the Code of Conduct contained in the 5th Schedule to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. So you move.
Colleagues, we have with us representatives from the Gaudium Ace Pay Institute. The institute is part of the Catholic Association of Nigeria, of Abuja, and they are here to observe the proceedings of the House. Please rise up for recognition. You're welcome. Also with us today are students from the Starville School. Can you please rise? Students from Starville School, please rise for recognition. You're welcome. Are there any petitions? Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Abubakar Hassan Laraba.
representing the good people of Awedo, Makana Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Nasarawa State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition from my constituency over an unlawful and illegal withdrawal of officers cadets of the Nigerian Defense Academy. Mr. Speaker, I wish to submit the petition. Thank you.
Yeah, please go ahead. You have a petition. Go ahead. Barrister, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Haruna Isa Dederi. I represent Kara Irogo Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State. Sir, I have some petitions to present. One is from Mr. Baba Yusuf in respect of certain fraudulent activities of some officers of the export processing zone. There are two also presented through the law firm of Mrs. U.C. Okparawo and Co., legal practitioners, in respect of unlawful dismissals. May I, Mr. Speaker, sir, be allowed to lay the petitions?
Oh, yeah, please, you may lay your petition. Or Zakaria, not me. Okay. We'll move on to matters of urgent public importance. Honorable Ben Kalu. Sorry, before you, let me quickly refer the petitions to the committee on petitions. Petitions refer to committee of the... you have what? You have a petition too? Okay. Sorry, we'll bear 1 second. Honorable Raji. And I think Honorable Fatu has one as well.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, my name is Wale Raji. I represent a peripheral constituency of Lagos State. I have a petition from the Ewu Chieftaincy family of Ewu Land, Oshodi Solo, local government of Lagos State, over the unlawful acquisition of 2,430 hectares of land in Ewu Land, Ikeja, Lagos State, by the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. So with your kind permission, can I lay the petition before the House? Thank you.
Go ahead. Honorable Fatu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Fatu Muhammad, member from Katsina State, representing Sandamu, Meadua, and Daura. Sir, this is a petition from Ibrahim Muhammad Daura, a cadet who passed from the Nigerian Academy and was expelled that very day. Sir, may I read the petition?
Yes, please go ahead.
Use this one. Sorry, I didn't know it was not working. Okay, thank you. To present a motion on the urgent need to evacuate hopelessly stranded Nigerians in Wuhan and the wider province of Hubei, in the People's Republic of China. Also, pleading with the House to suspend the relevant rules to enable me present it today. Thank you.
Honorable Kabir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Kabir Al-Asarurum. I represent Honorable Kurachibi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Kano State. I rise to move the motion, to second the motion, heavily moved by Honorable Kadu. I so second.
Yeah, before I put the motion, I can hear a lot of murmuring from members, and I believe whatever you are murmuring about, I understand, and I believe the body of Honorable Kalu's motion already takes care of your worries. Yes, Honorable Kalu's motion is to evacuate Nigerians stranded in Republic of China back to Nigeria. But trust me, yes, but trust me, yes, but honestly, trust me, I had a little glance at the motion, and I believe the necessary things have been done. If it has not, let us hear him out. If it has not, we know what to do with the motion at the end of the day when we put the question. So, but I'm sure it has been taken care of. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Honorable colleagues, that is in the motion. Honorable colleagues, let me call Honorable Ben Kalu, Honorable Kalu. No.
eagle cannot fly.
Honorable colleagues, silence please. Honorable colleagues, take your seats. Honorable colleagues, take your seats. Honorable colleagues. Honorable colleagues, take your seats. Honorable colleagues, silence please. Honorable colleagues, I believe this is, you have just proven the saying that the first instinct of any human being is self-preservation. So you no longer want your brothers back in Nigeria. I believe that motion has been taken care of. Honorable Ben, that is a good thing we haven't hit the gavel. Can you take that? Can you take that motion again based on the title? What is the title of the motion? I want to hear the title. Let members hear the title of your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, very patriotic honorable members. The title of this motion is the urgent need to quarantine and evacuate over 65 members City of Wuhan and the wider Hubei province in the
Honorable colleagues. Honorable colleagues, I think you have managed to confuse the mover of the motion. I think what he meant to say was evacuate and quarantine. That way you can kill two birds with one stone.
You are right, Mr. Speaker. I said evacuate and quarantine, Mr. Speaker.
Let a co-sponsor of the motion second, since we're taking it all over again, and the co-sponsor is the deputy leader of the House. Deputy leader, what, you have a point of order?
I took the English honorable colleagues that such motions should be gazetted so that everybody can read through, and if it's a motion that appeals to the minds of everybody, we will be able to discuss the motion. It's not too urgent like that. When I say it's not too urgent like that, because one, China have a better facility than Nigeria.
Honorable Deputy Leader, do you want to second the motion? Deputy Leader, you second the motion now.
Mr. Speaker, and my distinguished colleagues, this noise is too much. Too much noise.
Honorable colleagues, silence please. Honorable colleagues, silence.
Leadership consultation. I want to step down the motion.
The only person person that can step, the owner of the motion is Honorable Ben Kalu in China. Nobody wants to bring people here to come and infect the larger population. I think we should, my candid opinion, hear his motion. Don't make your mind up based on the title. Hear what his prayers are and what he's asking for, and then we can kill it at that point if we're not satisfied. At that point, we can kill it if we're not satisfied. So, Honorable Elumelu, you want to second the motion? You are the co-sponsor now. Honorable Elumelu is the co-sponsor of the motion, but he says his mic is not working. Honorable TJ Yusuf.
Yeah, I'm a co-sponsor. I'm a co-sponsor, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. I'm TJ Yusuf. I represent the group of Kaba, Bunuji Federal Constituency. I rise to second that this matter is urgent enough to be considered now. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
All right, those in favor, please say aye. Honorable Ben, move your. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The nays have it. Honorable TJ Yusuf.
Honorable colleague, take your seat, please. In as much as they are not happy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. I'm TJ.
Honorable Halims, take your seat. Honorable Halims, take your seat.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I come order H room 4 and
Honorable colleagues, silent please.
a matter of urgent national importance on the need to unveil the circumstances that led to the immigration restriction by United States of America, seek quick resolution and prevent future occurrences. Mr. Speaker, I so appeal to you and my colleagues that this matter is urgent enough to be considered now. I so appeal.
On the U.S. ban? Okay. Honorable Benson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Baba Jimmy Benson. I represent the very good people of Ikorodu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I stand to second the motion ably moved by Honorable TJ Yusuf. I so second.
Okay, so the last motion was for import of Nigerians to Nigeria. This one is export of Nigerians to. Okay, those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. TJ, you want to take revenge? TJ, go ahead. Okay.
Mike. It's on. Okay. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, matter of urgent national importance on the need to unveil the circumstances that led to the immigration restriction by the United States of America, seek quick resolution and prevent future occurrences. The House is aware that the United States of America on the 31st of January 2020
as a direct consequence of non-compliance with established identity management and information sharing criteria assessed by performance metrics, place an immigration ban on Nigeria and 4 other countries, Tanzania, Sudan, Eritrea, Myanmar, and Kyrgyzstan. Also aware that the immigration restriction on Nigeria and these countries, which is further fallout of alleged non-adequate data sharing on public safety and terrorism related information necessary for protection, is expected to take effect on 21st of February 2020. Concerned that due to the tardiness of these government agencies and officials, Nigeria was unable to meet the deadline for performance metrics, identity management and information sharing criteria, which has led to the unfortunate immigration restrictions order placed by the USA on Nigeria. Observe that while Nigeria, through relevant agencies and top officials, was not able to meet the criteria, some developing nations like Chad, Belarus did the needful and were exempted from the immigration restriction. Worried that the immigration restriction order on Nigeria, aside having far-reaching multiplier effect on the polity, economy and governance, attracts serious global embarrassment to our dear country. Disturbed that the immigration restriction will impact negatively and have grievous repercussions on well-meaning Nigerians who have legitimate personal, vocation, career, business, and academic transaction in the U.S. Alarmed that if the restriction order is not reversed, it may lead to more stringent diplomatic measures, not only by USA, but other developed nations, which may have serious consequences on government initiative geared towards national growth and development. Resolve 1. All the leadership of the House to interface with every relevant government agency and diplomatic missions towards resolving the issue and preventing similar future occurrence. 2. Urge the executive to expedite necessary action that may lead to the review or cancellation of the immigration restriction immediately. I so move, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Idem Unyime, member representing Ukanafu Nurowonam in Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as moved by Honorable TJ. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable TJ, I believe you took the second leg together with the first leg, didn't you? So go ahead.
Thank you, sir. My dear colleagues, it is in the public domain that the U.S. government about 2 years ago made contact with some countries that they believe were not at par with certain information required on background check of those who seek to enter their country. And these countries were written and advised to do the needful. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, while countries like Chad were able to do theirs, our bureaucrats who are charged with the responsibility of this simple issue failed in their responsibility. Mr. Speaker, the implication of this is that Nigerians who have legitimate business in the United States of America are subjected to unnecessary embarrassment. Some have spent 10 years, some have spent 3 years, and at the verge of complete this matter because of the negligence of some officials. We are in this situation. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, the other part of this concern is that it is not just America that requires this information. It's a global thing these days. Anybody that is seeking to move in that direction have checked profile to be sure that whoever is coming in is clear. Let's leave even what the National Committee will do with such things. Nigeria. Somebody commit a crime in, say, one state and move to another state. there should be this data that easily help the security agency to put a tab on such person so as to be sure he does not move to another environment and become a threat to the society. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, the intention of this motion is to appeal to the leadership, deliberately, say leadership, to interface with the agencies concerned and to do just two things: to make sure that we can get out of this and to see how we got here, who are the people responsible for this, and try to make sure such a thing does not occur again. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, it is just to appeal to those who are under responsibility to rise up to their responsibility and do not bring shame to this nation the way this decision that brought shame to us. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, that is the appeal, that is the prayer, that is my appeal to you. Thank you. Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, Honorable Sejus.
Point of, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order. Who has a point of order? Okay, point of order.
Right Honorable Speaker, my very dear colleagues, I rise under Order 6, Rule 3, matter of privilege. Mr. Speaker, my order is a constitutional order, and it borders on Constitutional Order Section 33 and 34. One is a right to life, Mr. Speaker, and the other is on human dignity. I know this is an unpopular stand that I take here today, Mr. Speaker, but my privilege has been breached upon. We have a few Nigerians, we have a very valid motion that would have been taken on the floor of the House. All we had to do as members was to listen to it. We have Nigerians who cannot get out of China, and we're talking about visa here. Mr. Speaker, just to register and to let Nigerians know that we should have a rethink and debate this motion. We have over 60 Nigerians. We're saying that they should come here to be quarantined. We're saying that they should be back in Nigeria so that they'll be adequately taken care of. They've written to the consulate, nothing is going on. Are we going to abandon them because we're afraid to all die? We will all die someday, Mr. Speaker. Just to register, my privilege has been breached upon, and I think as a House we should debate upon this motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. I appreciate your concern and the issues that you have raised, and I believe that there are ways and means that hopefully this matter will be brought up again, and members will listen to what the contents of the motion will figure. Thank you very much. Noted. Sejus.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My highly esteemed colleagues, I'm Sejus Ose Ogun. I represent Eastern Northeast, Eastern Southeast, and I'm from Edo State. Mr. Speaker, the motion that has been moved by my colleague, Honorable TJ, is a good one. But in the prayer, is appealing for us to look into this and get the relevant agency to do the needful. But in the body of this motion, he mentioned clearly that the Nigerian government had 2 years to do something about this, and we didn't do anything. He further mentioned even Chad. When we refer to countries like Chad, we say small country. They took time and they responded. So do we have to go this low when they are calling countries that are involved in terrorism, we want to top the chart? They are talking our countries that cannot enter the US, we want to top the chart. How low do we want to get to before we can get this right in this country? Mr. Speaker, I once had an office in the US, I once had an apartment and all. They refused me visa and I closed down the business and I sold that property. So my contribution here today is as much as exactly because of for the reasons that we have Nigerian businessmen that have already settled down there. This is going to affect them. So I will prescribe, I will pray that we punish the agencies responsible for this. This will never happen again. As much as I am in support of this, I would have actually preferred that this ban is not lifted. We have talked about people receiving treatment in Nigeria. Let's fix our primary healthcare centers so so that even those in the villages can get treatment in the villages. Treat the tertiary and the secondary. People can get treated here. Fix our healthcare, our educational system. Our children can school here. If we fix this country, we do not need to rely on any country. We don't need to be desperate to get visas to go out of this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Douglas.
Thank you, Mr.
Unfortunately, I missed Seju's contribution. There's nobody, the whip is not here to protect me. So I couldn't hear what Seju said.
Now I'll start, Mr. Speaker.
After the chairman business. Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So it's possible that you might not hear my own contribution as well, Mr. Speaker. Dachu Musa Bagos, representing the good people of Jos South, Jos East, Federal Constituency of Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I think as a country, time has come that we should do things the way it should be done. No matter the reason it is an embarrassment to Nigeria for us to receive a ban. Even receiving a ban itself is an embarrassment. Why must we allow things to go the wrong way before we receive a ban and we start looking at why we had a ban? Because that alone has given some negative correlation to the country. I want to put an amendment to the motion, Mr. Speaker, that the House Committee on Foreign Affairs should investigate, call the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and relevant agencies to investigate the issue. Why is it that Nigeria was banned, and report back to the House? Because we should not allow our name should be taken. We're struggling with the issue of insecurity. Now we're struggling with the issue of ban. So as a country, we shouldn't allow things to happen like this, Mr. Speaker. So I will call on an amendment that the House Committee on Foreign Affairs should investigate the issue of this ban and report back to the House, Mr. Speaker.
Do we need to prolong this debate? What was the, Honorable Teacher, what were your prayers?
Mr. Speaker, all the leadership of the House to interface with every relevant government agencies and diplomatic missions towards resolving the issue and preventing similar future occurrence.
That sounds similar to investigate. Similar, but just couched in a different way. Because if you are going to intervene, you are going to be asking questions and investigating. We're going to take our 10-minute break at 1:30 because the House started session very late. So we have 7 minutes to take maybe one more motion. So I'll just put the question on this one. Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Ononuga, Honorable Dozier, and Honorable Mioji. Honorable Ononuga first. Honorable Ononuga first.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Sorry, what's your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Abubakar Samfulata. I represent Berniwa, Krika Samaguri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, I'm coming under Order 8, Rule 4. Mr. Speaker, considering the fact that we started late and we are yet to commence consideration of the order paper for the day, we have already taken 2 motions on urgent matters of national importance. Mr. Speaker, in line with Order 8, Rule 4, we can no longer take any more motions and we should commence the consideration of our order paper for today.
Mr. Speaker, that's the content of my...
Okay, read the order, please. Because you said we can no longer, which I agree with you, but read the order.
Rule 4 states, not more than 2 of such motions shall be made at the same sitting, which is very, very categorical, Mr. Speaker.
Complete it. Read it.
Order 8, Rule 4, not more than 2 of such motions shall be made at the same sitting.
Is that the end of the order? What page are you reading?
Never mind, sir. Okay. I'm reading from page 32 on matters of urgent public importance. Rule 4, sub-rule 4. I'm reading 4. I'm not reading 4.1, I'm reading from 4.4.
I think the chairman business and rules is right. There used to be a provision that a third can be taken with leave of the house. Somehow, that provision is no longer in our rules, and we must observe our rules. But if the house will allow for us to suspend, it's still there. Where? What rule?
Mr. Speaker, sir, it's still there. And that's the more reason, Mr. Speaker, we had already crammed the section of the amended standing order that is yet to come out from the printing press.
That's yet. I'm talking about the present rule book that we're operating. It's not in this present. Now, if there's going to be an amendment, maybe futuristic. But for now, there's even no room for me to wiggle. We're only allowed 2. And I think there's a reason for that. Like he rightly said, and I try to explain this to members. We're not even on the order paper yet. We have not started today's business. And many of these matters are not urgent public importance. They are matters that should go on notice. And I've tried to explain this, and I'm glad that the chairman business and rules has actually even pointed us to the right direction in our rules. But if the house would permit, since these matters have already been signed off on, moving forward, we don't have a 4-7. Oh, 4-7. What page? Wait. Order 8, Rule 7. Yeah, well, suspend. Yeah, I was going with that. If that's what you're talking about, I was going to say, with leave of the house, we'll suspend our rules to allow us take 1 or 2 matters, and then moving forward, we cannot take more than 2 unless it is absolutely necessary, and then we can suspend our rules to take a 3rd. But this one that we do 3, 4, 5 motions of urgent public importance in a day is not it's not good for the proceedings of the House. Honorable, your observation and your point of order is absolutely in order, but if the House will somebody move that we suspend our rules to take one more so that we can go on our tea break. We are moving for suspension of rules. Wait now, if they kill it, they kill it.
The suspension under Sub-Rule 1, no rule shall be suspended except by a vote of two-thirds majority of the members voting, a quorum being present. Which means you must divide the House before you suspend the rules.
Okay, so your observation is that we need 2/3 to suspend our rule, and I believe the point you are trying to make is that we cannot determine 2/3 by a voice vote. How do you know I can't determine 2/3 by voice vote? What's that order again? Order, what page? Okay. It says no rule shall be suspended except by a vote of 2/3 majority of the members voting, a quorum being present. So we have to satisfy two things. One, that there's a quorum, which obviously there is, and two, that it's 2/3 of the quorum. Where is sub 3? Of any legislative discretion.
7-3.
So we'll move for suspension to suspend the order 8 to 7. We move for suspension to suspend the rule that requires us to have 2/3. The reason why I'm moving for suspension of that rule, it says in the same rule, I think it's, what order is it? In the same rule, it says the House shall have the right to regulate itself. So, if there's a move for suspension, I will take one more motion of urgent public importance. We are constrained by sub-rule 2 of where? What page?
When a motion to suspend the rules has been submitted to the House, it shall be in order for the final vote to be taken. Therefore, debate the proposition to be voted on for 20 minutes.
Where are you reading?
I'm reading from President 3, Section 2. It's going to waste our time.
Yes, but I agree with you, but I'm saying that we're moving to suspend that rule. That's what we're saying. We're moving to suspend that rule. What does order 1 rule 2 say? I'm enjoying this debate. What does order 1 rule 2 say?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, in all cases not provided for hereinafter or by sectional or
or other orders, precedents or practice of the House shall, by resolution, regulate its procedure. Regulate its own procedure based on the constitutional provision of Section 62 of the Constitution, that the House can regulate himself.
No, Honorable Osai, you know, when we are wrong, we are wrong. When we are right, we are right. It says in all cases not provided for. Now, this has been provided for in the rules, so this is not applicable. And for all intents and purposes, to be fair, I am not the House. Okay. I'm the Speaker, I'm not the House. So it is the House that will regulate itself. So what I'm even asking for is, I'm just asking for benevolence of members. I'm asking that we allow Honorable Ononuga to move this last one. And we've already wasted 10 minutes. It's a very healthy debate. Honorable, does it move your Chairman Business and Rules? Your point has been very clearly made. We move motion that we suspend all our rules to allow for this other motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Ferdinand Dozie Nwankwo, member representing Jikoka and Ocha Dunuka Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, you said is two. I own and my own.
Don't worry, we'll take it step by step. Let's move for one first.
Okay, I move for the House to suspend all the rules for us to take two additional motion.
One. And then when we come back, we'll do another one. Yeah. One.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for us to take one additional motion. Thank you.
Chairman Business and Rules, can you second the motion, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Abubakar Samfulata. I represent Berniwa Krika Samaguri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Dozie. I so second, sir.
Thank you very much, Chairman Business. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Ononuga.
Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, my name is Rep. Otumba Adeomi Oriyomi Ononuga. I represent the fabulously united people of Ikene, Shagamu, Remo North. I am from Ogun State. My matter of urgent importance is on the devastating fire disaster at Sabo Market in Shagamu, Ogun State. The House notes that a terribly devastating fire engulfed the major market in the Sabo axis of Shagamu in the very early morning of Tuesday around 3 a.m., wherein goods worth millions of naira were destroyed. The House is aware that this phenomenon, which is becoming and unbecoming in recent times, has deprived nearly 500 traders of their daily livelihood. The House is also aware that the market, which is the biggest and a multicultural market, was a binding force for all and sundry. The House is worried that many of the traders took loans to acquire the goods that were destroyed by fire and will not be able to survive without trading, as they have now been rendered jobless and helpless. The House is also worried that the Federal Fire Service arrived at the scene at first instance to report that they had no water in their truck and left to get water only to return 4 hours after to a totally burned down market. The House believes that immediately appropriate and far-reaching measures should be taken, state in particular the Akarigwa people of Bremoland and victims of the fire outbreak, to urge the National Emergency Management Agency to expedite assessment and send relief materials to the affected victims to cushion their sufferings. That the House Committee on Interior should investigate why the Shagamu station of the Federal Fire Service came to the scene of the incident to report that they did not have water in their trucks and had to leave to return 4 hours later and report to the House in 6 weeks. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Chukuma Umoji, representing the good people of Agota Federal Constituency. I rise to second the sympathetic motion moved by Honorable Onanoga. Mr. Speaker, I do second.
Very briefly, Honorable Onanoga, lead the debate. Just 1 minute.
The need for intervention.
The House resolves that there should be commiseration with the government and people of the state, in particular the Caribbean people of Remo Land and victims of the fire outbreak, and the National Emergency Management Agency to expedite assessment and send relief materials to the affected victims to cushion their sufferings, and that the House Committee on Interior should investigate why the Shagamu station of the Federal Fire Service came to the scene of the incident to report that they did not have water in their trucks and had to leave to return 4 hours later and report to the House in 6 weeks.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The deputy leader, please move that we recess for 15 minutes and come back. Please, all members, please, after 15 minutes, we come back to the chambers to continue our sitting. The tea is served outside.
Mr. Speaker, and my dear colleagues, I am Comrade Peter Ogunyozeje Apatisin MNI. I represent the great people of Akoko Edo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I move that we observe a 15 minutes break from this moment. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, my name is Comrade Abdurazak Namdas. I represent the people of Ganye, Jada, Togo, Mara, I am from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, I support the motion moved by my leader. I so support, Mr. Speaker.
The House is adjourned to 2 p.m. Okay, and I think this